Hello, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pleb is back. In this report, we have an action-packed show here today as Pierre Poilievre agrees with President Trump on a radio interview, proving that they are going to work great together. Also tonight, Trudeau gets heckled in the streets of Ottawa, and it gets broadcasted on live television for the whole country to see, and it's the greatest clip of all time. Also tonight, the NDP admit that they are willing to do a non-confidence vote, but only after Jagmeet Singh gets his pension, which has led Canadians to start a GoFundMe for Jagmeet's pension. And in our last story tonight, Pierre Poilievre gives one of the greatest speeches he has ever given on the pain of Canadians under Trudeau, and it's so powerful that we have to cover it on today's show. You won't want to miss this report. Stick around. Before we start this report, all I'm asking of you guys is to please smash subscribe. I'm going to tell you guys the news that the mainstream media won't. So smash subscribe and let's have some fun. All right, folks, it is good to be back. I have so much material today, so much gold, that I'm just so excited to do today's show. In tonight's first story, it appears that Pierre Poilievre has chosen sides in the Justin Trudeau and President Trump beef, where Pierre Poilievre went on the radio and gave this interview the other day saying that he agrees with Trump and appears to be taking his side.
I want to talk a bit about what's happening with the threat of tariffs from Donald Trump. And François Legault was asked about this yesterday, and he said when he was in Paris at the Notre Dame Cathedral reopening and he met briefly with Donald Trump, that Donald Trump told him, take care of the border, no tariffs. Is it as simple as that?
It really is as simple as that.
It should be. The tariff. Look, Donald Trump's a deal maker. He always was. That's how he made his billions as a real estate developer. He makes big, aggressive threats and demands up front. He slowly pulls them back as he gets what he wants. I'm willing to give on things that are good for Canada. So securing our border, that's good for Canada. We should do that even if there were no Donald Trump.
Exactly. He's agreeing. He's right.
So I will secure the border. We will shut down the illegal border crossings. We will have a strong RCMP or CBSA presence right across the border to keep bad guys in, to stop. We're going to scan the shipping containers to stop the stolen cars from going out. And I'm going to be delivering a ruthless crackdown on the fentanyl kingpins, whom I consider to be murderers. They will be going to the slammer. I'll break up these super labs that have killed 47,000 people who've died of fentanyl. We should fight fentanyl, not to please Donald Trump, but so that no mother has to bury her head in her hands in the agony of losing a child. Yep. And then we should rebuild our military, not because Trump asked us to, but because we have a duty to defend ourselves and our Arctic against the risks of the world. And I think if we do those things and go to President Trump and say, listen, you're now stronger because we're now stronger. Let's trade even more, because the richer we become, the more secure you become. I think that's a deal he'd take in a heartbeat.
And in that interview, Pierre Poilievre wasn't done agreeing with Trump just there, as he started actually talking about deportations.
There are between 20,000 and 500,000 people in Canada illegally.
What a mess.
20,000 to 500,000. They don't know. And they say there could be more. Then we know that there are 30,000 people who've been ordered deported that have not left. We know that for sure. Trudeau has lost control of our immigration.
How do you get control?
I will take back control. First of all, we will track down the 30,000 people who've been ordered deported, and I will have them deported from this country. They've been ordered.
I love it. I love it. We haven't heard Pierre say the word deportations until just recently. It's music to my ears. Let's go.
Deported, and I will have them deported from this country. They've been ordered deported. These are people who are not eligible to be here. We will find them and we will deport them.
Do we have the resources for that?
We do. We just have to direct them to the front lines rather than the back office bureaucracies. Secondly, we will have a rapid approach to treating these new and mostly false refugee claims.
Yes.
For example, I think we should signal that there will be what I call a last in, first out. So people who submit claims now because they're frankly international students who want to stay, they're not real refugees, they're not bad people, but they're using the refugee system to try and stay. We have to treat their case immediately so they know that it's not worth it. We have to secure the border so there's no more people coming in illegally and then staying the 14 days necessary in order to be eligible for a refugee application that can take years. We have to stop them from coming in the first place. And then we have to set numbers for immigration that our economy, our housing market, and our healthcare system can absorb. So that means reducing the number.
Reducing immigration, deportations, ending these fake refugee claims and scams. This is music to my ears, folks. I don't know about you folks, but I think Pierre Poilievre and President Trump are going to work very good together. I mean, it's not hard to beat the relationship that Trudeau and Trump have right now, but something tells me that the Canadian and USA relationship is going to be amazing once we get rid of Trudeau. And it appears that Trump wants the same things that you and me want, which is an election to get rid of Justin Trudeau. As he was tweeting last night or posting on Truth Social, trolling Justin Trudeau and trolling Chrystia Freeland once again, as he put out this tweet saying, "The great state of Canada is stunned as the finance minister resigns." The great state of Canada or was fired from her position by Governor Justin Trudeau. Her behavior was totally toxic. Yup. And not all conducive to making deals which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. He's right. We are unhappy. She will not be missed. Trump never misses with these posts. What a legend. And after President Trump put out that hilariously epic post, Pierre Poilievre had a response to it at today's press conference.
Yesterday's post by President Trump just shows that Justin Trudeau and his chaotic clown show makes Canada weak. Trudeau's lost control of everything.
Chaotic clown show. I couldn't have said it better myself, Pierre Poilievre. Play that again. Music to my ears.
His chaotic clown show makes Canada weak. Trudeau's
right.
lost control of everything. Lost control of borders, lost control of immigration, lost control of spending, inflation, and debt. And Canadians are paying the price for this chaotic NDP Liberal clown show. Everyone is laughing. All around the world, Trudeau and the NDP Liberals are seen as ridiculous. The price, though, is in smaller paychecks, higher costs, fewer jobs, more crime, chaos, drugs, and danger. But the good news is that Canadians can elect a common-sense conservative government with a leader who has the brains and backbone to face President Trump, who has a plan to unleash the productive forces of our workers and entrepreneurs to bring home our money and defend our economy.
That's an endorsement for the Trump agenda right there, folks.
And to take back control of our borders, immigration, spending, and everything else so that we can put Canada first.
Look, this is just my opinion, but I think Pierre Poilievre is absolutely enjoying how much President Trump is exposing Trudeau. And the funny thing is that it's only been 40 days since Trump won the election, and Trudeau's regime is collapsing in real time. And that, folks, is why Trump is the greatest president ever. In our next story of the night, Trudeau gets confronted in the streets of Ottawa after yesterday's Liberal clown show. Now, Trudeau was on his way to his fundraiser dinner, and an upset, fed-up Canadian told Trudeau exactly what he thought about him, and it's absolutely epic. Now, the reason this heckling was so amazing is because CBC was live broadcasting on television Trudeau leaving this building, and the heckling made its way onto live TV, and CBC has to address it here. It's too funny.
Prime Prime Minister, are you going to remain in office?
No, what gives you the right to continue? What gives you the right to stay in office? You failed Canada. You've ruined our country. You're done. Walk away. You don't have an ounce of your father's integrity. At least he walked in the snow. You've ruined this country. Everyone around you is running from you. You're abandoning you. Christian Freeland, Sean Fraser, they've all left you. It's time for you to go. It's time for Canada to have an election. You're not the king.
Beautiful. You're not the king.
Okay, that's the Prime Minister getting into his motorcade.
Look at their reaction here.
I do not know who was shouting those questions, but
Not a
I'm going to
journalist.
go out on a limb and say
Yeah.
it wasn't a member of the Parliamentary Press Gallery.
Not a journalist, not a member of the Parliamentary Press Gallery. Yes, CBC, it definitely wasn't a journalist. It was a Canadian patriot by the name of @RightBlend on X. Give him a follow if you don't follow him. He's the one who roasted Trudeau. And quite frankly, he speaks for all Canadians because we all feel this way. He absolutely owned the moment. That was just simply beautiful. And as you saw in the last clip, Trudeau was getting into his motorcade to go to his fundraiser last night after giving absolutely zero statements about his ministers that left. Trudeau went to this Laurier Club, I believe, to give a weird deranged speech about how much he loves Canada. Look at this.
I love this country. I really do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I trust Canadians. There is no place I'd rather be than Canada, and it is the absolute privilege of my life to serve as your Prime Minister.
So yes, folks, Trudeau found a safe space last night after all that chaos in Parliament. But I noticed something about this speech that was kind of crazy. What's up with the podium Trudeau gave a speech on? Look at this. Why is this logo at the Laurentian Elite Laurier Club look like a communist sign from the USSR? I mean, the two wheat signs are right along the side of the logo, just like us here in Canada. What the heck is up with this logo choice? Is Trudeau paying homage to his fellow communists? And speaking of the communists, now let's move things over to the NDP. The NDP yesterday came out and announced and shocked the world, saying they are willing to bet no confidence on the Trudeau government, but only at the end of February, early April, which, while to no one's surprise, Jagmeet Singh's pension goes into effect on February 25th. Isn't that timing quite hilarious?
Justin Trudeau is still the Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party in February and March. Does all options on the table mean the NDP will vote non-confidence in the government in those 2 months on that timeline?
If we're talking the end of February and the beginning of March, and Mr. Trudeau has not stepped down, hasn't heeded that call from his own caucus, from his own cabinet, from all the opposition parties, then yes. So of course that would mean if we're coming up to a straight up non-confidence motion at the end of February, early March, that.
The end of February, early March. Jagmeet's pension is February 25th. The amount of corruption by these people is unbelievable. And they're saying the quiet part out loud here. This is crazy.
The end of February, early March, that's one of the tools that we have. And so there's no doubt about that. I mean, Jagmeet Singh was very, very clear. My concern, really, David, isn't just late February, early March. It's right now. People need the supports. We need a government that actually is functional and is putting those supports into place. And we need all hands on deck in terms of the Trump tariffs, which threaten hundreds of thousands of jobs. So this idea that the Liberals can play out a drama over the course of the next few months, simply not on. And the NDP, and I think Jagmeet Singh was very clear about that.
Okay, well, with respect, Mr. Julian, he kind of wasn't. He just kept saying all options are on the table, right?
It is truly the world's worst kept secret that Jagmeet Singh is holding up Canada for his pension. But what is even crazier is they actually said it out loud. They gave a date limit, which matched up to Jagmeet's pension. These people need to go to prison. And in a hilarious turn of events here, Canadians say, okay, I'm not waiting for Jagmeet. They have started a GoFundMe to give this guy his pension so he can actually call an election. This is how bad Canadians want an election. Now, this GoFundMe goes by the name of Let's Help Jagmeet Singh Get His Pension, where already $65 has been raised of $2.3 million goal. Canada, you are truly hilarious. I love you guys. How about we go click on that link there on the GoFundMe? I put the link here. Let's go see if people actually donated to it. Okay. Now that we're on the GoFundMe, it appears that Canadians are donating to this. I posted this GoFundMe when there was $65 raised, and apparently we're up to $343 with 27 Canadians, or people from other countries, who knows, 27 people donated towards the cause of Jagmeet Singh getting his pension and leaving our lives forever. Now, I wish these organizers the best in their GoFundMe, but we all remember what happened last time people set up a GoFundMe here in Canada. Trudeau froze their bank accounts. And I even asked my followers today, will Trudeau freeze Canadians' bank accounts for donating to this GoFundMe? With 82.6% of you saying that yes, Trudeau will freeze their bank accounts. But tell me in the comments down below, are you willing to donate to this Jagmeet Singh pension GoFundMe? I want to hear it in the comments. In our next story of the night, now many of you did not know this yesterday because it was absolute chaos everywhere in Parliament, on social media, but Canada held a by-election last night in the province of British Columbia, and the results, well, pretty amazing for Pierre Poilievre. Well, folks, it's another Liberal seat that gets flushed down the toilet here, as Pierre Poilievre has taken another seat from Justin Trudeau in these by-elections, and oh boy, was it ever a blowout here. As you can see, just look at these numbers. Pierre Poilievre got Pierre Poilievre's candidate got 66% of the vote, with Trudeau only getting 16%, a 50% gap. That is absolutely insane. This is something you'd only ever expect to see in a province like Alberta, with the Conservatives winning this dominantly, but man, it's going to be a bloodbath for Trudeau in the next election. Even a Liberal journalist pointed this out here, how bad of a loss that was. So since 1993, there have been 3 federal by-elections where the government's vote has dropped 23% plus. Labrador 96, Fort Mac 2014, Cloverdale Langley City 2024. This is worse than you realize. So yes, as Pierre Poilievre is breaking records, winning back ridings from the Liberals, I wanted to point this out, that last night, I know some of you guys are PPC supporters, but we got to look at these numbers because it's really not looking good for the PPC. Last night, the PPC got under 1% of the vote. Yes, 0.008% showed up to vote for the PPC, which is scary considering that they had 4.5% in the 2021 election in that riding. The PPC continue losing support since COVID. And I asked my followers, is it time for the PPC to find a new leader? To the PPC loyalists who watch my program, who get mad at me, say, Pleb, why are you always bashing the PPC? I'm not bashing the PPC. I like the platform. I just think you guys have a weak leader. And we are seeing this. Maxime has been handed the most favorable political circumstances for a populist party to rise. You had COVID, now you have immigration completely out of control and our economy tanking, and still he is actually going backwards instead of forwards. So my question to you, PPC, is it time for a new leader? Because I truly believe you deserve better, someone who can actually win. Maxime Bernier is not that guy. And another thing, I think the PPC bros are upset that they don't have a leader like Pierre Poilievre. If Pierre Poilievre was leading their party, they would be doing way, way better in the polls. And yesterday, Pierre Poilievre displayed why I think he is a great leader, as he gave a speech which is going viral all over social media about the pain of Canadians. And that is what we're going to end today's show on. This excellent speech from Pierre that I just enjoyed so much. Let's watch. Thank you to the amazing Zoltan for splicing this. It's excellent.
When I travel across this country, I consistently meet two types of people. One, those who are a little better off and tell me that, and I'll be very blunt about this, that if I don't win, they will leave the country. And they are very numerous.
Yes. I'm one of them. I'm not going to lie. Trudeau wins the next election, I'm gone.
But you know, I don't worry about them as much. You know who I worry about? The ones who can't leave.
Right.
The ones who don't know, and if I can just use very blunt language, who tell me I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I have no idea how I'm going to pay my way.
That's right.
I met a waitress at a restaurant not long ago, and she came up to me and she grabbed me by the hand and she said, "You have to win." And I said, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate your support." She said, No. It wasn't a compliment. You have to win.
Wow.
And then she told me her story. She told me that she was working one full-time job and two part-time jobs just to pay her bills. As a single woman in her late 50s. And she was tired of working all the time. So she cut everything out of her budget. Every creature comfort, everything she enjoyed about her life, she cut it out so that she could drop one of those part-time jobs. And then one morning, she woke up and she walked outside and her car was gone.
Wow.
And she called her insurance and they said they weren't going to cover the replacement value. So she had to take that job back because she simply cannot live her life without a car.
Wow.
Now you can bet your bottom dollar the guy who stole the car, he was probably out on bail. This was not his first job.
That's right.
Her taxes have gone up. Her heating bill has gone up. Her wages have not gone up. She's scared to go out in the streets in places where they didn't even lock the door not long ago. These are the people we're fighting for. These silly games over here, they're very entertaining. The soap opera that everyone's seized with today, that's all fine. But there are real people whose lives are on the line here, and we have a duty to work for them.
Yep.
And quite frankly, this woman doesn't see me as or any of us as any kind of savior. They see us all as a last hope. In fact, she doesn't want to be saved. She just wants her life back.
Exactly.
She was taking care of herself just fine before her tax, her heat, her grocery bill went through the roof and her car went missing. She was doing just fine. She was doing everything right. Met another guy at the Le Brat Brewery a few days ago, and you can watch the video of me talking with him. He walked up to me and he said, "I have 3 jobs and I can't make it. We're renting. We have no hope. We've given up on ever owning a home. We're renting. We can barely make it." And he said to me, "I feel ashamed when I talk to my kids."
Wow.
Because they ask me why I'm never around and why we can never have a house. And I feel like a failure. But he didn't fail. He has been failed. He has been robbed of the promise of Canada. It was a very simple promise that if you worked hard, you got a good life. Now, it wasn't fancy or extravagant, but you got a house with a yard where you could have kids playing safely. And you could have a nice dog that you could afford to feed along with the kids. And your kids could play safely in the streets. That was the promise. Now, politicians break promises all the time. But you know what was bad about this promise? This promise didn't belong to this Prime Minister. It wasn't his promise to break. It belonged to all of us. And our purpose is to bring home that promise for that young man, that young father, and that older female worker so that they can once again take back control of their lives, live in a safe country where their hard work earns them a good wage, where their rent and their food is affordable, and where when they go to bed at night, they know that they will be safe throughout their sleep and that they will have their car in their driveway in the morning. A country where people are proud again to to fly the flag, where they know the government is a servant and not a master, where they understand that every day the Commons, this place, works for the common people, not for the ego of one man desperate to cling on to his job. We must remember that we are servants in this place. We have a job to do on behalf of the people who sent us here. Our personal dramas are not important. The dramas that should seize all of our concern and imagination are the daily dramas of the working women and men that build this country. We are in it for them. We're going to give them back control of their lives in the freest country on earth, Canada. Let's bring it home.
Let's go.
Come on, get up, Pleb.
Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I think Pierre Poilievre is getting better and better and better at this. That is what a real prime minister sounds like. A man who cares about the concerns of his own people instead of the concerns of the world. The concerns of looking good and virtuous in front of the world. This is a real leader, and I cannot wait for the Pierre Poilievre era to finally begin. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up today's show. But I want you to tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of that Pierre Poilievre speech? Was that one of the best speeches he's ever given? Also, what did you think about the Trudeau getting heckled in Ottawa? Was that absolutely epic? Also, tell me in the comments, which one of you crazy mofos is going to donate to this Jagmeet Singh GoFundMe? Tell me in the comments down below. All right, guys, if you want to support my channel, you're already doing it by watching my videos. You're probably hitting the like button. You're probably already subscribed. But if you want to buy a membership, you can do that too. My name is the Pleb, and I'll see you at the next report. Peace.